Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Sports Exchange. My name is Scott Morganmouth from Motor City Manmouth, and prior to this show, we were on Pundits Pundit, and I carried a couple of those people over. Jordan Long and Jacob Christner doing double duty tonight. Welcome back for the second half of your doubleheader.
We're
Thank
happy
you.
to be on.
Exactly. Thank you, Scott.
And of
And
course,
so
we
is
got,
Jordan's hat. That's happy to be on too.
yeah, well, you know what, Jordan, I have plenty of things for us to talk about. I'll make sure you get your 2 cents worth. Nothing against what we did there, but I ate up a lot of the airtime when they got me started with East Coast, West Coast bias. So
Yeah.
I'm guilty as charged there because I've only been in the business forever. With that said, welcome back, Candy.
Thank you, Scott. Happy to be here.
And Rick Curdy, welcome back, Mr. Opinion.
Thank you.
Did double duty last night between here and baseball. Well, you know what? We'll start off with Albert Pujols. First of all, Albert Pujols isn't done with the LA Angels yet, believe it or not. And the reason I say that is he plans to honor his 10-year, $10 million contract with the Angels with a personal services contract, despite Artie Moreno's intentions of selling the team. So, Mr. Southern California Curdy, it's like Pujols isn't giving up SoCal after all, is he?
No, he's a man of his word. He wants to finish up his contract. I guess he probably feels that, you know what, I didn't do what I was supposed to do there. I was injured. We weren't very good. I mean, he's a man of his word. He wants to finish his contract there. And hopefully, he'll stay even if Artie Moreno goes. And I'll help Artie Moreno pack. He needs to go.
All right, Candy, some thoughts about Albert going back to SoCal. I don't know if he's moving back there, but he still is going to collect another $1 million a year for 10 years. So, Albert, the Angels, again, only this time I don't anticipate any injuries. All he has to do is use his brain this time.
Yeah, he's officially done playing baseball, but he's actually going to probably move into more of a, not GM role, but a role that in the front office to kind of help them. He's been good for the game. He's hit so many home runs, so he's popular. So I think that'll really help build the Angels organization because let's face it, they could use some building up right now. And I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see that a sports player actually fulfills his contract.
And this, mind you, is personal services. All right, Jacob Christner.
Well, one of the things I thought about him going back there, personal services contract, is I think of Yadier Molina being the manager of Puerto Rico for the World Baseball Classic. And I'm thinking, why couldn't he do? I'm just saying this. Why couldn't he do this? Why couldn't he be a manager? Why couldn't Albert be a manager? And especially if whoever they choose falls apart also, even with that, if you're getting a new ownership to the group, which I think they will, why wouldn't you get, and in truth, why wouldn't the Cardinals try it too if Ollie goes out there? You know what I mean?
Right.
If Oli Marmol's out there, why not Albert? He is popular in two different areas. So I'm looking at, there's a possible manager thing, or here's the thing, or a batting coach.
Right.
Or any of those. So it's like, why not do it's obvious he loves baseball. And it's like, I wish he'd been I'm a Cubs fan, but I wish he'd stayed in St. Louis 20 years because that would have been 3 players that stayed 20 years. And it's like, and I just wish they would, but he did what he did.
Jordan?
I honestly, like Rick Curdy said, it's, honoring his contract. But here's an idea. I mean, yes, the Angels are going to sell, but why not be the special assistant to the general manager? I know there's a lot of players who do that just to honor their time played. And yes, you're going to get paid $1 million, but why not have a baseball guy, even if it's a special assistant, to actually go out there, see what these guys are doing in batting practice, maybe help the manager, whoever the next manager will be. So I just think it's a great idea for him to go back and, get the $1 million a year and actually help this team. Of course, Albert Pujols, one of the best power hitters that we've seen in this game. So it's a great way to honor his contract.
Excellent baseball, man. Nobody really did it much better. 703 home runs and what he meant to the game, plus what he also meant to in terms of Latin community, international players. What Albert Pujols did to me, you know what? It's when you think about Hall of Famers, you wonder if there's only been one Hall of Famer that got 100% of the vote. Mariano Rivera. I would hope that Albert Pujols is the second one that gets 100% of the vote.
Well, let me say this, Scott. I'm doubting it. I'm just saying, I know he is the man, and I believe he's a Hall of Famer. Don't get
Right.
that wrong. But one of the things that happened with him is once he left St. Louis, there were years that he absolutely struggled. So there's going to be somebody in there that's going to block that 100.
Oh, there's no question about it. It always does happen. Listen, if they block Derek Jeter, they're definitely going to block Pujols.
What about Hank Aaron? How in the world did he not get 100% of the vote? That's
well,
crazy.
Yeah, but you know what? That's a debate that
It was probably Roger Maris Jr.
I always wonder who the one guy is though that doesn't vote 100%. If it's 99%, what happened to the one guy?
Right. Well, and a lot of those guys will be anonymous and they'll never tell you who
Exactly.
it is. Crucified. Let me tell you, I know a lot of. I have some good friends of mine that are actually inducted in the Hall of Fame. I'll mention a couple. Tom Gage of the Detroit News, Joe Falls, the late Joe Falls, of course, on the broadcast side, Ernie Harwell, list goes on. And all it takes is one person to say no, and all of a sudden, Mariano Rivera is the only one at 100%. Well, we'll stay on to the sport. Baseball, 71% of Game 1 winners in the best of five series, won to win the series, and they're 102 and 42 in the MLB postseason. All right, Kane, you lead off with you. What are your thoughts about 71%? Do you take any stock in what we could be seeing over the next few days or so with the upcoming best of five?
I would have said that maybe going in a couple weeks ago before the 3-game series, but I'm not so sure that that these teams are all gonna not come in there and knock some sense or knock some of the favorites out. Baseball is interesting. I would say it's probably one of the, I don't know if it necessarily has the ultimate advantage playing at home or not. I just think it makes for some interesting series, like Seattle getting in there like they did, 21 years they hadn't been in there. And look they gave them a game. I think it's going to come down to some really key pitching and who has problems pitching. They roughed up Scherzer the other day. Who knows?
They roughed him up good. All right, Rick, some thoughts about 71% and the best of five going on.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. Anything could happen in the short series. I think once you get into the playoffs, it doesn't matter if you have 111 wins or you have like 88 wins. Once you get in, you get in. And yeah, we've seen some good baseball. We've seen some upsets with the Mets. And yeah, Scherzer guy bounced around. Verlander didn't pitch all that great either, but they won. So anything can happen in this short series. So I think it's great.
Jacob.
Well, as far as Atlanta goes, that's not good. The 71% is going down. They're already winning 3-0 right now. After being up 0-0, they just got 3 runs. They can just hit the cover off the ball whenever they want to. And Philadelphia is not going to survive this series. But because Philly had a good win yesterday with 7-6, and they played well, but that's not going to happen. And Seattle probably should have won, but Houston came to that. But who knows if Seattle can come back tomorrow?
Right.
They've got some hitters too. So that can go. I think Houston wins that, but Seattle's going to make it interesting.
Jordan.
I don't really look at percentages. Yeah, you mentioned 71%, but who wins game 1 wins this short series. In the end, though, the better team that has the better hitting, the better pitching, the better managerial, decisions is going to win that game, win the series. Yes, game 1 is important, especially in a short series, but the 71%, I wouldn't look at that as much as who has the better managerial decisions is really going to determine the outcome.
Yeah, unfortunately, in this day and age, everything is predicated on numbers. Not that I put a lot of stock in numbers, but
I know
are what they are.
They are.
There's a lot of things out there. The wins above replacement, I don't even have any clue about. Quality starts, I'm not even going to get there because then that's another animal, which I don't care to tackle tonight. But
hey, Scott. Hey, Scott, I just want to say this real fast. I have figured what I am going to go as for Halloween.
What's
I'm going to
that?
go with Rick Curdy.
There you go.
I am going to get the spray tan. I am going to get the glasses.
There's a real tan.
I work at a glasses place, so I'm going to get the glasses and I'm going to get the haircut.
Oh, that
Cool.
wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, all right.
You
Okay.
And
with
it's
the
like you and I
haircut.
are going to be sitting together just like this. We're going to be doing that the whole time.
Sounds good.
You with the haircut will be a little bit different for me, Jacob.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, again, when you talk about numbers, and I know we spent a lot of time on Pundit talking about numbers too,
Yeah.
and now I'm carrying it over to what this is. The numbers are what they are, but nowadays
Mhm.
everything's all devoured about analytics. I think one of the more spirited conversations that we had on Pundit was Joe Madden. Oh my God, did we go off on that one?
Mm.
But hey, the numbers are 102 and 42. So no matter what we want to say, you kind of have to look at them and take them a little bit seriously.
That's
Where
true.
they end up going, I don't know. I mean, but again, it's not like you're dealing with a 170-1. You're talking about the fact that 42 times it happened, 102 it didn't. Remember, once upon a time, no team ever came back from an 0-3 deficit, and the Red Sox beat the Yankees. So it does
That's
happen,
true.
whether we like it or not, perception and reality. All right. Well, again, we've got 4 topics tonight and a parting shot. We're not going to go ahead and do a marathon tonight, but we're going to make sure it's not quantity, it's quality. But there's some good stuff here on the way. Just so I'll let everybody know right now here, as we take a mild station identification here, subscribe to the South Florida Tribune on our YouTube channel, or visit www.southfloridatribune.com and follow us on Twitter at Tribune South. To advertise, this call drop is doing what it's doing here. Advertise, call 954-304-4941. The audio portion of the show can be heard on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Apple, Google, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Or if that isn't good enough, just go to youtube.com, find South Florida Tribune, hit the subscribe button. Boom, that's all she wrote. Next topic we go. Marshawnlynch is joining Amazon's Thursday night football coverage. Do they think that he could have made last week's debacle between any more interesting? I don't even know. I even want to forget about that fact that game existed. So
just wait till tomorrow night.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to
Just
talk
wait till
about
tomorrow
that game.
night. That's going to be horrible.
Well, you know what, though? I'm glad you brought that up, Jacob, because I won't be talking much about that game because of what happened last week. I'll be smart and focus on the weekend and make mention of it. So with that said, since you chimed in first, you can talk about Marshawnlynch, Jacob.
Oh, he's a star. He
He's
and
what?
Pat McAfee, the 2 big stars of the announcing thing for football. They are, and it's a beautiful idea to put him on there in the first place. He is always perpetually high. But he just is. But let me. You know what he is? He is Snoop Dogg in the weight room.
Mm.
But the thing about him though is every single one of us to a person would go up to the guy and he'd be dead chill. Every single one of us. You know very well it ain't even autographs. He'd probably be buying us all drinks. He's just that kind of guy. He's just cool.
We're giving us weed.
Yeah, probably,
That's true
yeah.
too.
I'd give my joint to Jordan, but still. They would do. But he's chill. He's like that. The reason you put guys like this, it's like why you put Pat McAfee on a show. There's specific people why you put them on there, and it's like, especially this day and age now. You can't. There won't be like I said, there won't be a Harry Carey anymore. There won't be the specific types anymore. There will, but they gotta be people that can keep attention, especially to a younger crew that doesn't want to watch everything all the time now. I had my nephew for a ball game yesterday, and I was talking to him afterwards, and he's giving me pointers on what to do to promote with their age bracket and everything. He's telling me I've told you guys some of the ideas. And he's giving these things, and it's like, these are things that you kind of know, but you don't. And you look, and it's like, this is a world where you have to listen to this. And a Marshawnlynch will get their attention. A Pat McAfee will get their attention.
Right.
And it's like, Joe Buck's kind of grandfathered in, but you couldn't get another him anymore. Right. Or I'll say Troy Aikman. It's like they're grandfathered in. They've been to over 20 years. But now everything is going to be, it's got to be a bit louder. It's got to be a bit louder. It's got to be a little more flashy, a little more pop. It's not going to matter if they smoke weed or do everything. They're going to make fun. It's just because it's such a different world. I mean, the regions and all that kind of stuff outside maybe small towns in the farm areas, everything's so together now. people are so together just because of like a messenger, like any of those. People are together more and more now, so they're all going to have the same agreement who they want. So these kind of places, we're going to see more and more of these types now. It's why you had the Mannings in specific time, and it ends up that the Mannings are cool, even though they kind of look dorky, but they end up they're kind of cool. And now you have Pat McAfee doing his. You're going to see more and more of this type of stuff. And Marshawn, you're going to see that too, and that you're going to see how cool he is also.
Well, I got to say, to Amazon's credit, I'm intrigued by Ryan Fitzpatrick, and I'm also intrigued by Richard Sherman. So, and I'm going to go to the chat room while I have a moment. Denzel Snipes, the only thing that could have saved last Thursday was a Beyond performance. And not even she wanted to do that. Yeah, that's true.
Hey, Denzel, just wait till tomorrow night. It's going to get worse.
Lynch is going to go well with Thursday Night Football. I'm here for it. Yeah, that's why I brought it on as a topic. We'll see if you follow my lead. I'm pundit whether it's good enough to do it, or I got another one coming up in a moment. Look at Sherman. Sherman is doing awesome on the team. This is the evolution of former players in sports coverage. And McAfee is also football and WWE. Yeah, I with all due respect, Denzel's right. I watched the Manning cast one time and I was intrigued by it. And I guess the word intrigued is probably the best way for me to do it. So it's all about innovations in sports media to keep the younger crowd engaged. And, now whether Amazon can get much better games or they can incorporate flex scheduling will be for another time. So with that said, Jordan, march on.
I'm actually intrigued that he's actually on there. I mean, yeah, you had Richard Sherman on there, Ryan Fitzpatrick. But the thing about Marshawn is we, as the media, when he played, I didn't really get a sense of who he really is. We'll finally get a chance to see what his personality is. Whether or not it's going to help Thursday Night Football, who knows? But the fact of the matter is I finally get to see how he analyzes the game, looks at the game, and that'll be interesting for me to watch. I mean, like you were talking about the Manning cast, that's what I do. I like to watch the Mannings to see their perspective. At first, I didn't understand it. Now I get their perspective, what they see out there, and hopefully we'll get the same from Marshawn Lynch. Whether or not he's going to be, unbiased or biased, who knows? But at least we'll get his perspective.
Well, Marshawn Lynch is one of those guys. The only way I'm going to show up is I'm going to get fined. The only way I'm going to show up is I'm going to get fined.
You want
exactly.
You want a joint?
Yeah, right.
Get some Skittles.
Right, exactly.
Now we can trademark this stuff. And this guy's Marshawn Lynch, you know what? To me, had a pretty decent career. I don't know if he'll ever get in the Hall of Fame, but he's very marketable after his career, more so than he did with his vote. He's got a Super Bowl ring, and he's marketable after his career.
He's cool. He's cool. He is cool. That is, the people, they want it. The cool's a different level now, but it's like when you say cool, you're talking about somebody. He'd be cool with grannies. He'd be cool with kids, and he'd be cool everything. And it's like, you look at it, he played football, and in the end, he's just somebody that'd rather be chill than have chaos around him. That's regardless of if you like weed or don't or alcohol or anything stuff like that. It is completely obvious he'd rather chill and then have chaos around him of any type. It's like if he would see a bar fight, he's more likely to break it up and then offer both of them a drink, and then they all get along.
Well, I'll say one thing about Marshawn Lynch, and I've never met the guy, but he's almost one of those guys that gets better with age. So we'll leave it at that. Regardless of his quirkiness, and I think we all have a quirkiness about us. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. All right, Rick Curdy, you have opinions about everything. Give me your opinion on Marshawn Lynch.
Well, I mean, they need to do something to make these games. These games have been absolutely awful. It's been so bad. I think we all should have free membership with Amazon. I mean, these games are so bad. I know tomorrow's will be even worse. So they gotta liven it up because people are upset because they gotta pay a subscription to see a Thursday night game on Amazon. These games have been horrible. So they got to do something to liven it up. And Marshawn Lynch is a lively character. He says what he says. He doesn't really care. He's not politically correct. And, he'll appeal to the younger people today. So, I mean, I think it's a good idea to have him on there. We'll see what he does. I don't expect him to be a Tim McCarver, a Joe Buck, analyzing and dissecting.
Well, that's the end. Like I said, Rick, that's the end of that. They're grandfathered in, but that's it.
Yeah, so I mean, it's more entertainment now than anything else. So why not?
Well, Denzel Snipes, if the Bears or Commanders can even score one touchdown, it's already better than last week. Well, let's set the standards real high, Denzel. Okay, they will.
Thanks,
Oh.
Denzel. That's a shot to my team that scored, 9 points?
Yeah, well,
Oh.
Nathaniel
And they
Hackett,
shouldn't
coach
have
of the
even
year.
Hey,
lost
but you
that
know what,
game.
though? If I see games like this, I have no problem doing inside the pigskin. Can't do any worse than they did, right?
That's
Well,
true.
Here's what I would do with seriously, Thursdays and Mondays. Truthfully, why, if you're going to have these games that are that bad, why not just make it an automatic thing? You're putting the teams that are considered the worst and just put it on Thursday. See who's going to watch, because they put some of these games on that were considered the top of the top. Give everybody the beginning of the season. You know what I'm saying? And remember, Denver and Indy, they were considered some pretty good teams, and they end up being awful. Why not just put the teams that end up at the thing on a Thursday night and see where they're at? You might have a team that surprises you and really get some good games, but why not try that?
I think
let me tell you this. This really is painful for me to say, because it really, really is painful, considering I have a person that resides in the same place as I do. Okay. And she knows where I'm going with this, and now she's really chomping at the bit to hear this. The Lions are the outside of their Thanksgiving are the only ones that are not featured on national television. With that said, okay, so at least you get the Thanksgiving for.
Well, they need to be. Dan Campbell's he's a star.
All right, that's true. But other than that, 29-0 beat down.
Yeah. No, Dan Campbell by himself, yes, he is.
All right,
his personality, everything.
Can't coach.
But hear me out. This is really what gets interesting. Okay, Thursday night, Candy, take over. What happened that night at Ford Field?
Well, my Packers, you and your buddy George were talking about near the end of the game. Oh, the game's over with. And you're like, no, George, I don't think this game is near over with. So what does Aaron Rodgers do? He throws his famous Hail Mary, and hail, yes, we beat your Lions, the Green Bay Packers, on my birthday back in 2015 with seconds left to go on the clock.
And you know what? The Lions haven't seen a Thursday night game since, and everybody on the planet has seen those highlights. Somebody out there must be missing something, because they may be bad a lot, but they do make things interesting. And after what we saw last night with Indianapolis against Denver, anybody would be more than happy to have a Lions game, even if they lose in dramatic fashion. So yeah, it was definitely so. Candy, with that said, okay, give me your opinion on Marshawn-Lynch on Amazon.
So let's face it, Amazon is averaging already 11 million viewers on Thursday Night Football. More importantly, they're going after the younger audience, and that's what they're doing. They're up 67% in the 18 to 34 age range. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get that young generation, the Generation Y. We're changing baseball rules because baseball is too long of a game and it's not as interesting. We're doing what we can to change it so that we're getting the viewership, because those guys, that viewership, they have short attention spans. So whatever we can do, one of the things Marshawn-Lynch is doing is he's going to be doing 3 to 4 minute features in your city. So he's going to be going to Chicago, and he's going to be playing with kids in Chicago's Highland Park. Then he's going to be heading to feeding alligators the next week. So they're trying to do little snippets that they can help, just trying to grow the viewership. And let's not forget all of you guys that are talking about Sherman and everybody else. But what famous quarterback decided to come back to play, but is going to be an NFL analyst as soon as he leaves?
Oh,
Tom Brady
of course.
signed. So they're all doing it.
Hey, Jordan, you had one thing to say. I know you were trying to get to.
I was just going to talk about, Thursday Night Football as a product. The way I've always said it, you don't have to play these games every week. Have a team, 2 teams off of a bye. Play that. I mean, you might get a better product. I don't like seeing these guys 4 days off and then playing the next, 4 days from the next game, and then you're playing them. I just think if you come off a bye, you might get a much better product. Yes, I am a Broncos fan. Yeah, it was a tough game to watch for everybody. So maybe if the Colts and the Broncos had a bye, might have been a better product.
First of all, I'm not a fan of the Thursday night games anyways. I really don't. I don't like the quick turnaround. I realize if you win, it's great, and then you have a better week. If you lose, it's drudgery to 10. But I understand the monetary value. It didn't go away, so I'll just get used to it. All right. Candy, what an incredible segue into our final topic before we go to parting shots. You mentioned Tom Brady. Now I'm going to mention to him in a different way. And for a lot of you folks out there, no, I'm not mentioning his other half, so don't worry about that. But get this, okay? Tom Brady is joining an ownership group of Major League Pickleball team. He will be joined by number one tennis player Kim Clijsters. Now, let me give you a little bit of pickleball stuff, what little I know about this sport, except one of my best friends broke both of his wrists playing it, and that certainly gave me a reason why I wouldn't want to play it at my age, let alone at any age, okay? But Major League Pickleball founder Steve Kuhn mission is to reach 40 million pickleball players by 2030. 40 million. Let me say it again, 40 million. Now, as part of its growth for 2023, Major League Pickleball will increase from 12 to 16 and double its events to 6 and increase player prize money and payouts to over 2 million. Now, here's where it gets interesting, okay? Brady is one of several athletes who invest in pickleball. Other team owners include Drew Brees, LeBron James, Draymond Green, and Kevin Love. I never thought I would mention pickleball on the Sports Exchange, but during the pandemic and I had to get creative, I went with cornhole, I believe. So, folks, we don't leave anything out. I've even done golf this year because of Live, and nobody really cared, although I always mention NASCAR when I get a chance because it's my passion. So, you know what, Jacob? Is this a good enough topic that would probably even make pundits fun?
Oh, yeah, it was going to. So you stole it. No, I was kidding. But no, but no. I've been saying this all. I've talked to people about this, get into pickleball. You got to understand something here. Pickleball is kind of the in between to try to get people into tennis to begin with. It's like this isn't this. I mean, it is for the younger people to get them started, and the older people because they can't move anymore. And one of the things, and I've been a tennis player for 30 years now, like 32 years now. I play tennis, and it's like the one biggest thing about pickleball is you can play it on 97 years old because you don't have to move. It's like a 10 by 10 square court. The only thing you're having is hand-eye coordination. And you're having the deals right now. And the thing about it was the fact that when you get kids into tennis, originally that court is so absolutely positively intimidating. The length. That's why they originally tried tennis with the shorter courts, and they tried to draw the lines as such. That didn't work too well. Pickleball does. It's like you've got all these links. It's really big because it is hand-eye coordination without a pile of movement. This isn't the Andre Agassi era anymore when you want to get a bunch of 7-year-olds that want to be able to go onto those courts. So you're giving them another pickleball for that age can be great to get them into tennis to start, and then they can move up. And it's like I said, it's great for the old people when their knees are gone and their hips are gone. And it is a wonderful. It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I saw this 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, and now you can add Drew Brees, LeBron James, Draymond Green, and Kevin Love as investors. We're not going to get into all the drama that Draymond Green has been to all week, but if he ever wants to go ahead into a business career, at least the man's setting himself up a little bit for a sport, which I just cannot believe that will reach 40 million players by 2030. Geez, folks, we're only talking about 8 years away. That doesn't seem long. Of course, for me, it probably seems like an eternity with my medical issues piling up, but still enough to get by for a little while. But still, it's unbelievable. When I saw this is just something we had to talk about. All right, Jordan, when I told you, when I messaged you today that I was going to talk about pickleball, what was the first thing I told you? Okay.
Honestly, I knew about this story with Tom Brady, but I didn't realize you were going to go into that. But with the pickleball, I mean, yeah, it's one of the fastest growing sports in the United States. And like Jacob said, it's the old people who can play it. Young people are starting to get into it. For Tom Brady, I think this is great. This will give him something, and the other athletes, something to look forward to once their playing days are over. He's setting himself for investing in something after life for football. How many players have lost their money or don't know what they're going to do once their sport is done when they retire. This at least gives Brady a plan to say, this is what I'm going to do.
Well, not only that, it's Fox job. So I understand
Exactly.
his significant other is a little upset because he's playing another year. He's already said that this will be his last year, but come on, Giselle, get a life. This guy's thinking about pickleball and broadcasting, so let him go out there and take another crack at it. But I'm not one of those people that likes to give personal advice, and I'll be the last one to think I'm even going to try. But, you're right, Jordan. He is setting himself up between the pickleball investment as well as broadcasting. So, Tom, you won't hear the last of Tom Brady. I think he's got at least another year.
And he's also got TB12, and he's also got his outerwear. He's got clothing. He's got all. This is why I get and bringing up to Jordan's point. This is why I don't understand Brady's issue here with his competition. To me, he's becoming Ric Flair. That he's going to die on the field. He wants to. I don't know why. Because the one thing about Roger Federer, he's gone now, and he's going to have one of the biggest shoe brands, independent shoe brands out there with On, and his logo is enormous around the world, and he knows this, and he could get competitive with Jordan with his brand as the time goes on. That's another way to get competitive. His knees are gone. Well, I don't know why Brady is risking himself doing this when he could do this with especially when there's Jordan, Roger Federer, everything. You could go get competitive on that. At some point, you got to know you're not young anymore.
Yeah, but you know what? He made a pledge he was going to play till 45.
It's his ego.
Left on his contract.
Yeah, that's true.
Fulfill that.
I think he's going through a midlife crisis.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well, listen, think about it. He said, you fulfill a prophecy. I'm going to play till I'm 45. Got 1 year left of my contract when he's a free agent. This guy reminds me a little bit of Magic Johnson because Magic set himself way up after the Lakers, and all that went. But that said, I'll turn over to Rick Curdy. All right, Rick, what about Tom Brady and pickleball and the sport per se?
Well, honestly, I really had no idea what pickleball was till I went on vacation in Los Angeles. And my niece's husband said, "You want to play some pickleball?" And I had no idea what the world was talking about. And I saw it was like a combination of tennis and badminton, and it was fun. He told me this sport is growing like crazy. And I've asked everyone, why do they call it pickleball? We have no idea. It's just called that. But why not? It's something different, sort of like lacrosse, sort of like beach volleyball, something trendy right now. 40 million going to play it. Why not? A lot of people want to try different sports. So it's a good investment, makes a lot of money. Other celebrities are in it. Why not? So kudos for him. Maybe they'll have a pickleball league. It could be maybe Amazon will air it. Maybe eBay will air it. Or maybe MySpace will air it. Who knows? But if it's something big that's happening, why not? Am I a fan of it? Not really. But, hey, why not?
Well, I don't know enough about it, so I'll hold comment. So, all right, Candy, your thoughts about Tom Brady and pickleball, and then we're going to go to our parting shots. And then Candy, since I have her on, she's going to give the station identification and all the stuff because she's really good at it. So
station identification.
Yeah. Hey, come on.
We're official.
You are so the WGN 1988.
You know it, friend. Hey, you know what, Jacob? You know it. That's at ABC. You had West Coast, East Coast bias earlier, right? You know what? I'm pundit. Well, let me tell you, my first job in the industry was a producer at ABC Radio. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot of old school in this body here. So, all right, Candy, talk about pickleball. We go to parting shots.
So, pickleball was actually invented. Can anybody tell me what year?
No.
1892.
It's like 2000 and something. I don't know the year.
It was actually invented in 1965. Back in Bainbridge Island, a short ferry ride from Seattle, Washington. 3 dads created it. But basically, it's a fun sport, combines the elements of tennis, badminton, ping pong. It's played indoors, outdoors, played with a paddle. It can be doubles or singles, so you don't need a lot of people to play. I love the fact that Brady and them are putting their money into a sport that a lot of people can play. Right. I think it helps tell everybody that fitness is still important, because I think that's something that we're lacking, because everyone's playing video games or looking at their phones, and we've become a more sedated society. So I really like the idea of getting out and playing and getting active. And I can tell you, I've been a tennis player for a long time myself. So I'm really excited to see the sport grow. I've seen more and more courts pop up around, and I'm excited. I'm happy that he's investing in something like that is going to help with the sedation levels of America.
Absolutely, yeah.
More importantly, the guy's going to be productive after his football career. He fulfilled what he wanted to on the field. Now, for him, what's left to do is just see what you can do off the field. One of the things I used to do when I first started this whole network was when I invited guests, whether it was through LinkedIn or whatever, and what you did on the field, it's what you did after the fact. And I landed a lot of great guests as a result. So, all right, well, there you go. Tom Brady pickleball on the Sports Exchange. With that said, we'll lead off with our parting shots. Okay, Jacob, what's on your mind?
I'm going to I did part of the parting shot already with Brady. I'm going to continue it. Right now, at this point of time, I've got to ask you, when will be enough? Will enough be enough? You say 45. You say your final Super Bowl, which, by the way, it's not going to happen this year. You say this, but at some point, are you going to win that next Super Bowl, hypothetically, and say, oh, I want another one? Is your competition still? Is your competitive fire still so much? Are you that afraid? Are you that afraid to not be young anymore? Are you that willing to give up your family to do this? And in truth, you've ruined your family. You ruined your family. There is a time when things have got to end, when the youth has got to end, and then you've got to teach. You're in a fearful way right now. You're in your midlife crisis. And in truth, are you trying to go to 50? But guess what? George Blanda tried, and he's tougher than you. So being very, 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 very honest, you're going to have to learn to, just like Ric Flair. I said it to him, and I'll say it to you, someday you just have to grow up.
Okay. Jordan?
Well, mine's going to be with the Denver Broncos. Nathaniel Hackett, let Russell Wilson do what he needs to do. Also, Russell Wilson, please look at your progressions. You missed a wide open KJ Hamler that could have won that bad game. I would have said something else. Bad game on, Thursday night. This week, let Russ cook, find your progressions, and maybe you'll win a game again, even though that we have another primetime game. But please make it a better game.
Okay. Rick Curdy?
David Tepper. Thank you for getting rid of Matt Rule. Probably the only good thing you've done since being the owner of the Panthers. You finally could have shown everyone who you are. We don't know much about you because you're always MIA, but you're always at your soccer games. You did your first press conference. It was awful. You came off as an arrogant jerk. Okay. No, you did not bring music to Charlotte. No, you did not bring culture here. You're doing a horrible job as an owner. Don't get mad at reporters because they ask you about questions about the failed headquarters in Rock Hill, where he screwed the city of South Carolina. Stop scoffing all the time. He came off as an arrogant jerk yesterday, and the fans do matter. Thank you. And please do not sign rookie NFL head coaches to 7-year deals because now you owe them $40 million. I don't care if you're the world's richest owner. That's just being a bad businessman. So David Tepper, just hear my advice. Grow personality. Stop being such a jerk and just do a better job as being an owner.
All right. I'm going to do my final shot, and Candy Ebling's going to take us home. How's that sound? All right. My parting shot, Arizona Coyotes. Great. Okay. You guys are moving into a 5,000 seat arena, gouging people for your product. You've never been to a Stanley Cup final, let alone one mini series in your existence. Many years ago, I attended a game over at the America West Arena, which was the worst stadium for hockey I have ever seen. Had a falling out with their PR guy, and I only went to 2 hockey games and never went back anyhow. A few years ago, Candy and I went back to the Gila River Arena, pretty good, actually, good venue, and held like 16,000. We bought tickets just to see the improvement in the arena. Now the Coyotes can't pay their bills, but think about it. When I wrote in my column for the Detroit Monitor that they should be playing at the Arizona Memorial Coliseum, pay a little bit more money there, fix the arena up a little bit, it has a little bit of a history over there. They never did it, and that would have been a good temporary arena for them. And they were looking to build one in Scottsdale at the corner of Scottsdale Road and McDowell, tore down a shopping center, and nothing came of it until they had to go ahead and move to Glendale. We all know how that worked out. So all I can say is maybe the Coyotes are only worth 5,000 fans. It's a franchise.
Not even that.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Thank you. So many of them, probably you're going to gouge 5,000 people to watch your product, which will probably lose badly, and try to figure out 2 or 3 years for which to try to find a permanent solution. The only reason that you have hockey is because Gary Bettman has found ways to keep it there, and even Wayne Gretzky couldn't save it when he was behind the bench. Is there hope for hockey in the desert? I don't know. Well, like Rick and I have talked about the severity of the Oakland A's tenure out in Oakland, in 2 or 3 years, we're going to find out whether the Arizona Coyotes are a suitable franchise out in the Southwest. I think, in my opinion, it's one of the worst franchises in pro sports, and I'll even put it up there with the LA Clippers. But you know what? If I had to choose between the two, the Coyotes are the worst franchise in pro sports, hands down. They've been dysfunctional from the beginning, and I don't see things changing a whole heck of a lot. So good luck playing in a stadium shared by the Arizona State Sun Devils. It's a shame because Arizona State's a beautiful campus. I enjoyed Tempe. It's a great place. But the Coyotes feel that their strong fan base is out in the East Valley. I get it. But now you got to get it figured out once and for all when you could have done it 20 years ago. So 3 games seeing the Coyotes is one thing, but to me, Gila River Casino is saying, or the arena is saying, good riddance, Cowboys, figure it out on the East Valley. And I pity you fans that got to get gouged for a pathetic product. All right, I'll let Candy Eveline close it up, and everybody can go ahead and give what they where they can be reached via Candy. Go ahead, Candy, take us home.
Okay, well, my parting shot is, in a day and age where all we hear is about all these classless acts, and if you listen to the pundit previously, you heard about the East Coast, West Coast. I want to go back to something that happened last month. Kudos to Christian Yelich, because as he took the batter's box when Wainwright and Molina stepped in and threw their first pitch, they threw the 324th career game that Molina caught for Wainwright. They previously broke Mickey Lolich and Bill Freehand's record, and I really feel that nobody knew this. Christian Yelich took the first pitch because he didn't want to hit it, because he didn't want a fan to get the ball, because Wainwright and Molina wanted the ball. So in a day and age where all we hear is a lot of the classless acts that go on in sports, that was a classy move. Good job, Christian Yelich.
Good job, Candy, with that parting shot. All right, take us home, Candy.
So, Rick, tell us how we can get a hold of you.
You can find me on my website at www.charlottebats.com. Go on there. We have a petition to bring Major League Baseball to Charlotte. I know Jacob would love to sign my petition. I know he's getting ready to do that right now. You can go on Facebook at Charlotte MLB. I'm also on there at Charlotte Bats Baseball. I'm on Instagram at Charlotte Bats. I'm on Twitter, Charlotte Bats Baseball. And you can email me at cltbatsbaseball@gmail.com.
Jordan, how can we get a hold of you?
You can find me on Twitter at SportsScoop1. I'm also on 108 Stitches with Scott and Rick on Tuesdays. Also, read my blog that I write Mondays through Thursdays with podcasts on Fridays at sports-scoop.com.
Jacob?
Well, just to let you know, Rick, we're also going to do a petition called the Charlotte Bats.
Awesome.
When they come to the majors.
Awesome. You can throw out the first pitch.
Absolutely.
I'll do the play-by-play.
Sunday nights, Basket Bros. Monday nights, I'm going for a show, working on a show right now, but then the second show will be a doubleheader And the second show is going to be Megan Price's NBA Carousel during January. I'll be representing somebody. I'm going to figure this out. Hopefully not do that sharp. Hopefully not Sacramento again.
You can have the Suns. I mean, I want to be Nuggets full time on that show.
Hey, why not? You know, hey, if you don't mind, I'll take the Suns. I like Monty Williams. Tuesday nights during the season, confidential, but we're not going to be on 11 o'clock anymore. Thank God. Wednesday nights, doubleheader, Pundits Pundit, and this. Thursday nights, I am away from the sideline sports. I got my own independent thing with TJ Sansa called Yin and Yang. We talk films. We talk acting techniques. We talk psychology. We talk politics, and we talk different things. All kinds of stuff kind of goes around. So it's a pretty cool show, actually. So I do that, and we're also making a movie together. She and I are. So it's working out, you know. So either way, and we have that, and then it just keeps on going. I keep building it as we can.
Well, I will say this. I really enjoy going on Basket Bros every Sunday night. Enjoy Pundits Pundit, which leads into this. And a few shout outs to Jennifer Matthews Lewis, J.B. Ellis, Eric Wilson, John Shear, Jake Malik. Of course, you know, Will Vogel, love his energy. And of course, Jacob and Jordan, just the latest members of our team. And I'm sure we'll add more as we go along. And now, Candy, why don't you go ahead and let everybody know while we have another minute or so about the endeavors that you're involved with the girls.
So you can catch us on Sideline Sports at 3 Chicks in a Pod or Chicks and Salsa. Tuesday nights, catch us. Don't miss. And then for South Florida Tribune, Monday nights are Fire Up nights. Tuesday nights are 108 Stitches Baseball Talk. Wednesday nights are Sports Exchange. Thursday, Inside the Pigskin. You can find us at Twitter at Tribune South, advertising 954-304-4941. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check out all of our broadcasts. And then if you want to listen to us on iHeartRadio, Apple, Google, Spotify, Spreaker, or wherever you catch your podcasts.
I can't do any better than that. So you know what? I won't try. So on behalf of Candy Abilene, Rick Curdy, Jordan Long, and Jacob Christer, my name is Scott Morgan Roth, Motor City Manmouth. Thank you for joining us on this edition of the Sports Exchange. We'll catch you next week with a new panel and a few other holdovers. So take care. Well, glad you can join us. Everybody have yourself a great weekend. Good night now.
Good night.